Hello, people of YouTube. Hello, silver stackers. Hello, coin roll hunters. Welcome to my little corner of the internet. This is Michael from Pennyhaven. And first off, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, then give it a like, then come back over here and hit that bell icon so you know when my new videos come out. Alright, so this video is going to be something a little bit different than what I normally put out. So recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, one of my favorite channels, Silverpicker, dropped a video where he tried to make a beginning coin collection for $20, just to show people out there who may be interested in getting into the hobby what they can do, how they can get a variety for not very much money just to get started. And then he went ahead and challenged a handful of channels, one of which was mine. And so yeah, I'm going to make my own beginner's coin collection for $20. I'm going to show you what I got and some of the reasons behind what I got. Now, I did it a little bit differently. So whenever he dropped this challenge, my local coin shops weren't even open yet, not even with masks and social distancing, just not even open yet. So I decided to do COVID-19 shelter-at-home quarantine rules. So basically, I reached out to some friends in the community, and I got some coins from them. The first person I reached out to actually had put a couple of coins aside for me and was just contacting me to let me know he was going to send them to me. Because a couple of nickels that I needed for my book, I leave a list of nickels that I need for my folder and mercury dimes in the About section of my channel. And I said, hey, how about this? If you look around, see if you have a variety of lower cost things that you can send me, and I will pay you for those nickels, and I will pay you for whatever else you get together. This person is John W., and you may have seen him out there. He's active in the community. He comments on my videos. He watches other videos, but he's also very, very knowledgeable in home gardening, like hydroponics for like lettuce and things like that. And he's got a new channel coming up. I'm going to put the link to that down below. It's going to be very interesting. But coins. So he sent me a collection and he quoted me a price, and I thought it was very fair. So the first $4 of my shelter-at-home coin collection goes like this. Okay, so this is what I got all laid out. And there's a variety of years, of course, different decades, variety of quality. And it's just pennies and nickels right here. 1 cent pieces and nickels, and a little bonus down here. So I'm going to go through very quickly what I got and why I think it's cool. So first off, he sent me a 1970 San Francisco minted penny, which I actually needed for the current book that I'm working on. So that fills a slot. And I have a 1954D that he sent just as a random piece, but it does upgrade the current coin in that slot in my book. So that's great. And speaking of upgrades, he sent me 3 brilliant uncirculated pennies. There's a 1959 Philadelphia, which is also cool. And I liked the 1959 because it was the first year of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. So rather than the wheat ears and the 1 cent on the reverse, it has the image of the Lincoln Memorial. So, 59 Philadelphia and a 64 and 68 Denver pennies. Those are all going to be upgrades in my book as well. And then he did put something together for me here that I think is kind of neat. He gave me U.S. 1920 Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver 1 cent pieces. The San Francisco I actually do need for my book as well. And gave me a King George 1920 1 penny from England. So that's kind of a little subset of collection within the collection as a whole. That's kind of a cool thing. It gives you ideas of other things that you can piece together and, just collect what you like. It really comes down to that for me. And then just a couple more wheat pennies. I believe these are, 57 Denvers. Then on to the nickels. He was originally going to send me a couple of these nickels just to help out with my book. So I have a 1950 and a 1958 both Philadelphia, both going into my folder. And my nickel folder is almost completely done now, so that's fantastic. That was great help. Then he sent me just a couple 1942 Denver non-silver. They didn't mint the war nickels, 35% silver nickels in Denver that year. And then a 1956, just a couple of older nickels for some variety. And then these two, you can see that they're in cellophane. These came from mint sets. And the whole set will be in one piece of cellophane with the little pockets for each denomination of coin that year. This is San Francisco. This is Philadelphia. And I find these a lot at coin shops I go to. Up by the register, it'll be almost like a last-minute impulse buy. Or they also have another box where they have random BU coins, and a lot of them cut out of mint sets. So that's another way to get some high-quality coins. And they tend to be very inexpensive because they'll cut up sets that aren't worth a whole lot on their own. So that's a great way to start collecting a denomination and getting high quality ones. And then this, I am personally a big fan of the bicentennial quarters and half dollars. That's because that's one of the first things that I ever collected as a kid, because they were different from all the other change and I just liked the look of them. So he sent me a pretty great condition bicentennial quarter. So there we go. That is the mostly American coinage starter collection. This covers $4 of my budget. And I went and checked through the prices. I think that's a fair deal. And all right, we're going to move on to some world coins. But before I move on to the world coins, I wanted to share one other thing with you. Now, this wasn't purchased as part of the collection, but this is something that I suggest for all new collectors, especially of American currency, American coins, is these simple collection books. It provides you with spaces to fill in all the coins that you can run down. And then, as I was saying, you can upgrade the coins as you go along. See, like this 1952 Philadelphia is not in great shape, and I can certainly find a better condition one out there. And when I do, I'll pop that out and put in the nicer one. You can see that some of these are starting to be in nicer condition over here, and I will be upgrading a couple of these to some basically uncirculated coins. Then this is my most modern book, and as you can see, it's a lot easier the newer they are to get nicer condition specimens. My earliest book, it's a lot of browns, a little bit of red right there. I think that one might even be cleaned, so I will continue to search for these and upgrade these as I go. And I'll put a link in the description to this type of Whitman folder. Like I say, I absolutely wholeheartedly suggest these. This is what I associated with coin collecting when I first started as a kid. I was just seeing these blue books. And that 1917S that I'm going to put right in here, that is 103 years old. That's just crazy. So that's great to start your collection with an over 100-year-old coin. Now, onto the world coins. Okay, so when I was thinking about how I was going to round out this collection and bring more variety to it, I realized I had a wonderful resource right here in the same city with me. Actually, we work at the same place, and that would be Brad from Brad's World Coins, which if you have not checked out his channel, you absolutely need to. There will, of course, be a link to that in the description. So Brad is very meticulous with his collection. He has a spreadsheet where he knows everything that he has. So I asked him to do this, and he said, yeah, I'll take a look. But he got back to me like hours later and said, here, I've got a list of 30. What do you think of these? The prices are all in this column. Let me know what you think. It was perfect. It was a great selection and fairly priced. These are not a lot of silver or more rare things, but this is a nice representation of world coins. So I'm going to go through these very quickly so this isn't a 20-minute video. And just let you know what I've got here. You see, I have a few stuck in the back, and there's a reason for that we'll get to later. So here we go. World coins from Brad's World Coins. First, we have this 1943 Australian penny. It's a bit banged up, but You can buy banged up world coins or banged up coins at a lot cheaper. They'll generally have a bin. At my coin shop, there's a bin of world coins in 2x2 flips, and you can get a wonderful variety, very cool stuff for very low prices. So I look for just stuff I haven't seen, things that just really jump out at me, or every once in a while I'll be able to grab a super old coin that's not in great shape, but I find interesting to have. All right, so that's my suggestion for obtaining some of these. If you don't have a Brad from Brad's World Coins, that's the way to go. Next we have from Barbados, a 1992 10-cent piece. Then from the Bahamas, 1975 10-cent piece. And you'll see this has an irregular shape. That's another cool thing about world coins. You get so many varieties. This is from Brazil, 1994, 25 centavos. This is from Belize, 1991. It's 1 cent, and you can see it has that irregular edge, just like the Bahama one did. And that's the Queen Elizabeth II on the front. Now, this is a Canadian 1 cent. This one actually commemorates the 100th anniversary of the forming of Canada as we know it today, 1867 to 1967. It has a rock dove in flight. This year they put out a whole set with Canadian animals on the reverse. I have a mint set of that from that year, and it's just gorgeous. So you should check that out if you ever have a chance. Okay, then now I have to disagree a tiny bit with this, but it's totally understandable why he came to the conclusion he did. He has this as China with a question mark for the year, but using the Coinoscope app, which I will type that out in the description as well, what I found to match all of these symbols was actually a Japanese 1 mon from 1668. And this is, it's in really rough shape. It's hard to even make out the symbols, but it's cool to own a piece of history like this. So I will put up the image of what the Japanese 1 mon looks like, and you'll see that these match. Then I've got Eastern Caribbean States from 1993, 1 cent. France, 1943, 1 franc. And this is a very cool design. It's got a double-headed axe. A 1970 J German 5 Pfennig. From Ghana, a 1967 10 pesewas. From Guatemala, 2015, 5 centavos. From Hungary, 1989, 1 forint. From Italy, 1978, the year of my birth, 100 lira. Italy also has some wonderful, just striking images on their coins. Not a lot, in the way of precious metals for a while, but great images. Japanese 1944 1 sen. Japanese 1975 1 yen. Kenya 1971 10 cents. There's a lot of great African coinage out there, and a lot of it will be this gold color, even though this is not, of course, gold. Some very beautiful pieces out there to be had for cheap. 1996 Mexican 1 peso, and this has 2 different types of metal that kind of makes it more interesting. Stands out from other coins. 1953 from the Netherlands, 1 cent. Very pretty. It's got some red copper. Romania 1966 1 lev. No, 1 liu. Russia 2011 10 kopecks. Very cool. There's some toning on that. Suriname 1966 5 cents. This has it's a square with rounded edges. Another interesting type. Switzerland 1952 1 rappen. 1957 Thailand 50 satangs. This is from Great Britain. 1897 1 penny, and it has Queen Victoria on the front. I just love images of monarchs, especially English monarchs. I love coinage like this. UK 1956, 2 shillings. That's the youngest portrait of Queen Elizabeth II there. She became queen in 1952, so this was 4 years into her reign. And then from the good old US of A, a 1971D Eisenhower dollar. Now the Eisenhower dollar, this was the last large format dollar that we had here. Now we have the presidential dollars, and before that we had the Susan B. Anthony dollars that are a smaller size, and the Sacagawea dollars now too. Okay, so that's what I have for the world coins of non-precious metals. Now I have 2 with silver content. This is a 1 peso from Mexico. I don't have the year down. 1962. So this is only 10% silver. But pesos like this, there are lots of coins out there from different countries that have various levels of silver content. And that turns off a lot of collectors, but I think it's a fun way to start. So this is 10% silver. Actually, my grandfather carried one of these in his pocket every day for decades. I've seen it, and it is completely smooth. Now this is a very cool coin as well. From the Philippines, 1944, 10 centavos. This was minted in Denver in the United States. We mint their coinage. And this is, I think it's 50% silver. I'll correct that if not. Great image, hammer and anvil, an active volcano, a lady walking, United States shield and symbol here. And then this, not silver, not a world coin, this is another subset of collecting altogether. This is a tax token from Alabama, 1937 to 1938. This is how you would pay your luxury tax. You would purchase these, and it's a mark that you'd paid your tax. There we go. And now, I had just a couple bucks left. I think $2.75 in my budget. So I decided to add a couple things that I had gotten recently. First of all, I got this from my local coin shop, and I'd never seen one of these notes before. It's not in great shape, so I was able to get it for like pennies. You know, maybe I think I paid 20 cents for this. This is a Cuban 1 peso note. And this, it's been folded in 8. So there's 8 sections, and it crosses right on his face, and it's badly worn there. So that's why I got it so cheap. But I still thought it was very cool and worth putting in my limited currency collection. I don't collect a lot of paper currency, so I got a small stack, and this is in it. It's another cheap way. It's like those impulse buy. It's up by the register. It's relatively inexpensive. People grab that stuff. I do. And one more thing. When I go to the bank, they know me, and they will sometimes let me know if they have interesting stuff in their drawer. And they always try to get me to buy these $2 bills. Now, I collected these as a kid, and they still offer to sell them to me all the time. Every once in a while, I'll see an interesting serial number, or super fine condition, or I just, if I don't want them to stop offering me stuff, I'll buy something every once in a while. So I bought this, face value. A lot of people don't even know that this is still legal currency. So, yeah, that's a nice little conversation starter in your beginning coin collection. All right, so that brings me right up to between $19.75 and $20. Bang on. So, thank you so much. I'm going to give you another look at all this stuff and wrap up. Okay, so there we are. This is my $20 beginner coin collection. I think this would be a great way for anyone to start. Like I said, you can get these things in person. On the cheaper side, just look for bins at your local coin shop. That's where I get most of my world coins, and I get a great price on them. And same with these things. These were impulse buys, relatively inexpensive. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This was a ton of fun to do. Thank you so much to Silver Picker, one of my favorite channels, by the way. And he's the one that inspired me to do those eBay grab bag videos that I do. So really enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching. Please, if you haven't yet, hit the like and subscribe. Come back and check out what I've got going on a normal basis. I'm going to get out of here now. This is Michael from Penny Haven. Happy hunting.